Hello and welcome to my very first YouTube video. Kind of nervous, but to be on social media like this, but I'm going to give it a shot. My name is Dan. I'm hailing from you from North Carolina in the United States, and I welcome you. Well, today we're going to set up an Amiga emulator called Winuae, so you can run your Amiga programs, your Amiga games, and all that other stuff. I used to own the Amigas and the Commodore 64. I loved them. And they were very great machines back in their time, and still are, in my opinion. Okay, first things first, let's get started. Let's go to Google. Type in the search box, Winuae. When it comes up, you should see Winuae Amiga Emulator as your first option. Click on that. You'll see the new version out as of this time, which is in 2021. Winuae 4.4.0. Okay, go to the download section and choose the download you want, either zip files or the installers. Now, if you run a 32-bit version, 32-bit OS, you want the 32-bit, and of course, if you run 64-bit, you click on 64-bit. I'm running the 64-bit, so I would click on that. Okay, once that's downloaded, it only took it a few seconds. Close out Google. Go to your downloads folder. And there you got it. As you can see, I've been downloading it 2 or 3 times here just for this video. Alrighty, double click it. And then follow the instructions on how to install. I've already got it installed, so I don't have to, but just go ahead and follow the install instructions, and it's very easy, and you'll be up and running in no time. Alrighty. Once you get it installed, Winuae will be on your desktop. I got mine right here. So I'll double click it to open it. Alrighty, in the pass, the first thing you should do in the pass up here, click on that where it says select ROMs, system ROMs. Alright, that's what you'll need for this tutorial, this step-by-step guide. You'll need the Workbench disk and the Kickstart ROMs. Well, I can't tell you where to download those, but Google them if you want to. I'm sure you can find them somewhere. But if you have them, then browse to your ROM folder. So I'll go to my ROM folder, and there it is, ROMs. I'll select it, and it reads them, and it shows me what I have as available. I can use the A500 plus, A600, A1200, A3000, A4000, CETV, and the A500. So that's, if yours shows a little bit different, that's okay. Okay, just click OK. Leave the rest of the fields like they are. Don't mess with them. Go to Quick Start. Make sure this box right here on mode is not checked. If it is, uncheck it and click Set Configuration. Alright, so once you do that, go to configurations. Now we want to create a config file for Winuae. So to do that, we go down to Save As, and let's give it a meaningful name. A1200 Workbench, which is WB 3.1. That's what we're going to install today. Workbench 3.1 on the A1200. Alrighty. You notice up here, it doesn't show anything but the address. So click on it and click Load. Now you see it says A1200 Workbench 3.1 up here. Alright, so everything we're going to be doing on the configurations through here is going to be, when we go back to configurations and save it, it'll be saved to this. Alright, so let's go with the hardware first. The CPU and FPU. Alrighty, well, wait a minute. Alright, the CPU. Back in this day, the A1200 has 68020 processor. So that's what we're going to do. It was running at 14 megahertz. Woo! Boy, that's fast. Smoking. But that's almost equivalent to a 386 IBM processor. So it's misleading. The Motorola chipset back then was a fairly good processor for its time. All right, we want to click on the CPU emulation speed fastest as possible. Uncheck the 24-bit addressing, and we want to enable just-in-time CPU emulator. Significantly increases the speed of the CPU emulation. It requires 68020 or higher CPU, which we do. So we want to click that because that will increase the speed. MMU is none. FPU, we don't need them. All right, make sure this cache for the JIT settings is set to max at 16 megabytes. We want to check indirect on the cache size on the JIT settings. Okay, everything looks good there on that page. All right, let's go to the chipset. Well, the A1200 had the Advanced Graphics Architecture chipset. So we'll select that. We'll be able to display in 16.7 million colors with the right software. Okay, compatible hack for programs that don't wait for the blitter correctly, causing graphics corruption if the CPU is too fast. Yeah, we want to click that. Okay. The chipset extra, we want A1200 chipset extras. We want this to be recommended collision level, sprites and sprites versus playfield. Okay. Go to advanced chipset. Compatibility. I wouldn't change anything on this page at all. ROM. Okay, here, this is the Winuae's ROM. For it says it's a Kickstart ROM 1.3, which we're not going to use. I mean, that we're going to install the Workbench 3.1, so we need a Kickstart 3.1 ROM. So go to your ROMs folder. Right there it is. And I'll scroll down. And I'll choose this ROM. Kickstart ROM version 3.1. Alright. Now down at the bottom down here where it says board type, since we're using indirect JIT, we need to select the new UAE 128K ROM indirect board. Okay. Now let's go to RAM. Let's boost this up to 2 megabytes. And the Z Fast RAM. Let's go to, you can go all the way up to a gig if you want to, but that's a little bit too much. We'll just keep it at 128. Alrighty, everything looks good on that page. Floppy drives, we got 2 selected. We're not going to mess with hard drives right this second. Expansions, make sure it says this, and it's enabled, and it's IDE controllers. Okay, that's all we need to do on that page. On the RTG board, we want to select, go to your board type here, and select the UAE 03 board. Okay, the VRAM, we want to press up to 128 megabytes too, I'd say. Alrighty. Everything looks good on, go on your buffer mode down here. Go to triple buffering. Okay. If you look at your hardware info, you'll see that the ID is what you want, PCIe, the UAE boot ROM, Z3 fast RAM, and the RTG. Okay. Go to display. Now I got my screen in 800 by 600 because of this video. So you don't have to squint what I'm doing. You can see it pretty clearly. It's nice and big. So I'll keep it at that. But you can click this down arrow right here and select any resolution you want. Alright, we want our emulation to start at full screen and the RTG to start at full screen. Okay. That's about all we need to do on that page. Now in sound, everything's enabled. The sound is enabled. Automatic switching. We're using the Apollo chipset. Okay. Drive. DF0 has no sound. Now this is the floppy drive emulation sound, which makes it sound like you're running a real Amiga. And you don't have to enable this if you don't want to. I do though. I like it. So I'm going to use the A500 Winuae built-in sound for drive 0 and DF1. I'm going to also enable it too. Like I said, you don't have to. It might be annoying to you and everything, but it lets you. What I like about it is that you can hear the Amiga actually working. So if you think the Amiga froze or something, if the drive is still running, then you know it's still working. Okay, game ports, you can, if you're going to do a game port and you want to put your own joystick in, it'll show up here in this list. Excuse me. All right. Look at these other options if you want. But do go down to miscellaneous. All right. Excuse me again. All right. I like to press this or turn this on. use Control F11 to quit. Now that's like turning off the Amiga. Sometimes you need to do that. And then restart Winuae and do it again. Alright. I'd suggest turning on 1 second reboot pause because that gives the emulation time enough to clear out its memory. Alrighty. Native screen mode on display. We'll check that. RTG on screen display. We'll check that. Let's see what else. Okay. Now this right here, right control equals right Windows key. Now, in order to reboot the Amiga, you have to press Control Amiga, which is basically the Windows key. Okay. On a PC, you don't have an Amiga key. But the emulation uses the Windows key as the Amiga key during the emulation. So, in order to do Control Windows, that's how you'd reboot. But I don't have 2 Windows keys. I only got one. It's on the left side of my keyboard on the bottom. So I got left Control, left Windows, but I don't have no other Windows key. So I have to click this. For me, the right control equals right Windows key. Alright, so now if I'm going to reboot the Amiga while it's in emulation, I'll have to press Control, left Windows key, right Control key. And that reboots, and that works fine. So, if you have a situation like that, then you need to check that. If you don't, if you have 2 Windows keys on your keyboard, then leave it unchecked. Okay. Let's see, what else? That should be it, I'd say, on that. Alright, go back up to configurations. Click on A1200 Workbench 3.1 or whatever you called it, and click Save. Now what that did, that saved everything that we set up so far. Should have. Okay. Now we're going to click, highlight it again, and click Load. So let's make sure we got everything saved up. 68020, chipset AGA, ROM, yes. RAM, yes. Display, full screen, RTG board, yep. Everything's still the same. All right. Now we're going to hang on just a second. Let me do something real quick here. Nah. Okay. Back to the video. Yeah, this is my first time, so there's probably bound to be mistakes and quirks and all kinds of stuff in this tutorial setup, but just laugh at me and say, he's a bum or something, you know. But anyways, okay, we want to set up the hard drives. Set up hard drives. So, here's your hard drive looking thing here. You notice we have nothing up here. Okay, yeah. All right, you can add PC drives to start up, include removable drives if you have any on your PC, include network drives if you got them mapped to other PCs, and you can CD and DVD auto mount them whenever you install a disk in your DVD or CD drive. We do want that, so we'll just click that. Okay. We're going to make a hard drive image. In order to do that, we have to select Add File. Now, don't worry about any of this up here yet. Don't worry about it. Look down here. It says new hard disk file, image file. Okay, we want to create. So we click in this field. And let's see, you could go up to 2 gigabytes. The Amiga will see up to 2 gigabytes. Some operating systems on the Amiga will see greater than 2 gigabytes. But, 2 gigabytes, that's a lot for the operating system. Okay, considering that you're going to add more hard drives for other stuff, like your games and stuff. If you have a large library of games, you're going to put them on another hard drive. So, you're not going to take up all the room on your workbench. So, I say 2 gigabytes is overkill. So, let's just make a 1 gigger. So, let's go 1024. A 1 gig hard drive is plenty big enough, even if you upgrade to OS 3.5 or OS 3.9. So, alright, after you type in what you want, up to 2 gigabytes, or up to 4 gigabytes if you want to. Yeah, if you go beyond 4, it will, I'll show you. Okay. Create. Alright. Click create. And let's give it a name, A1200. Something simple. And press save. Now you got up here the path where your hard drive is. It's A1200 HDF, hard disk file. Okay. Don't worry about this right here. Make sure it's clicked read and write, and it's bootable, and the boot priority is 0. Okay. Now, the hard disk controller. We want full drive rigid disk block mode. That makes the hard drive partitionable. So, we select that. Go ahead and select that. If you don't, then your hard disk won't show up correctly in Amiga. Alright. Don't worry about what this says over here. Alright. Once you get all that done, click OK. Now you see it says UAE 0. That will be in the Amiga. It will say DH0. DH in the Amiga stands for disk hard drive. And it's number 0. Just like the floppy. DF stands for disk floppy 0. That's how the Amiga did it back then. Okay, it shows your hard drive. It doesn't show a volume yet because we haven't formatted or installed an operating system. It's 512 bytes, and the size is 1 gigabyte. Double click it to open it. Now you see up here in this field it says device DH0. That's fine. Nothing else has changed. Make sure this looks good. It says 1024 megabytes. And make sure that this is all good. Now, if you went beyond 4 gigabytes, it would say too many cylinders. I know, I've tried it. Excuse me for a second. So I keep it, like I said, 1 gigabyte's plenty. Okay, click OK. We're ready to start up. Go back to configurations. Highlight the workbench, A1200 workbench 3.1. Click save. And then click load again. And we'll start. Okay, we're working. If you see this screen here, then everything's okay. All right, press F12. That takes us back to the emulator setup screen again. All righty. Let's check our hard drives. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how to add a directory. So, a directory is a folder on your system, which the Amiga will use as its hard drive, which comes in handy for moving programs that you download off the internet and copy them over to that folder, and then boot up your Amiga emulation and then install them from the folder, from that hard drive to the Workbench drive. Okay, so click on Add Directory or Archive. Select Folder. Make one on your hard disk somewhere that, like I got mine on Data, and I called mine Programs. So I'll select that folder. You can name it anything you want. You can name it Workbench Projects or whatever. Doesn't matter. I just name mine Programs on my data drive. Select folder. All right, device name, DH1. Volume label, Programs. Leave the rest of this like it is right here. Don't mess with that. Select OK. And now you see your DH1 here, and it's Programs on your D drive. It doesn't have boot blocks because it can't interpret how many blocks are on your hard drive in that folder. So, okay. Now go back up to Configurations, highlight A1200 Workbench 3.1 and click Save. Highlight it again and click Load. You notice the screen flashed. That was because the Amiga emulation was running. When we saw that boot up screen, it had to close that out. Okay. Go back to your hard drives, make sure everything is checked and everything's everything you like. Okay. Now we're getting ready. Go to floppy drives. Like I said, you need Workbench disks. And since we're going to install the Workbench 3.1 operating system on here, go to the three dots here, which opens folders, and go to where the Workbench 3.1 install is. Which mine's right here, install 3.1. Open it up and click Start. There was one thing I forgot to do. Press F12. I forgot to tell you to do this. Press F12 to go back to your configuration thing. Go back to floppy drives if it isn't already there. No. And where it says floppy drive emulation speed, go to turbo. Go to configurations. Well, we could do that. Yeah, go to configuration, highlight, and save. Click OK. OK takes us back to the Amiga screen. Alrighty. There's our programs folder that's on our actual hard drive. You notice it says it's 94% full, 533 megabytes free, 2,934 megabytes in use. You know, that's bogus because the Amiga can't, is confused by that. So it just, more or less guesses what's available. Even though your hard drive might be 500 gigabytes, that's basically all it will show. Okay. Let's go to install. Double click on that. Go to HD Tools and HD Toolbox. Well, look. It doesn't show any hard drives. Well. Okay. That's because the software is looking for a real Amiga hard disk. It's not looking for a image file, a virtual disk. So we got to tell it to. In order to do that, click on HD Toolbox. Don't double click, just click on it once, and then go up here to top and right click, go to icons, and go to information. All right. Here where it says SCSI, the SCSI, that's SCSI was a shortcut for that. SCSI device name equals SCSI.device. So it's looking for a SCSI drive and a real SCSI drive. We have to change this to where it recognizes the UAE hard drive. So let's click cancel on that. While it's still highlighted, click and drag it, HD Toolbox, to the RAM disk. Okay, close out of that. Alright, double click RAM disk. Alright, now left click once on that, go up here to icons again and information. Alright, now like I said, we need to change this. So we left click on this and it comes up down here where we can change it. Alright, you notice it has a cursor. Okay, click on the dot here so we can backspace. Alright, backspace out of there and type in UAEHF and then press enter. You notice it replaced it up here in this field. Alright, after you do that, click save and then double click HD Toolbox now. There it is. Alright, the SCSI device 0, that's our DH0, that's our hard drive. Alright, but it's unknown right now. Status is unknown. This right here is probably the CD-ROM driver. CD-ROM, UAE CD-ROM. Alright. Change drive type. So that's what we want to do. We want to change the drive type. Make sure this is highlighted. And change drive type. Leave that at SCSI or SCSI and define new. Okay. Now we see all this. There's nothing here. So we go to read configuration. Read what this says. Says this will read in as much data as possible from the drive. Some information such as the drive number of heads may not be available. Note that heads times blocks per track usually equals blocks per cylinder, but not always. Alright, click continue. There we go. Manufacturer is UAE. The drive name, there it is, the A1200.HDF. drive revision 0.4. Alright, everything looks good there. So once we get that up, we click OK. There it is right there, showing the UAE hard drive. Click OK again. It says change. Click Save Changes. Alright, now we want to partition the drive. Now, since it's a rigid disk block, it automatically comes in 2 partitions or more. Usually 2 partitions. Okay. We got partition 1, which is DH0, and partition 2, DH1. Well, we don't need a DH1. So we'll go ahead and delete the partition. You notice it's gone now. It says DH0, DH0. Okay. So you see this little slider right here, this triangle. Move it all the way to the end. And it says 119 megabytes. Change this. Highlight the D and backspace and press enter. Okay. Click OK. Click Save Changes. Warning, this operation will destroy the data in the following partitions. Continue. And exit. A reboot is required to make your changes take effect. Select Continue to reboot. Select Cancel to go back. Alright, continue. Aha, there's our hard drive. Yeah. Alrighty. It says DH0 NDOS. That means no DOS. So we'll left click it once to highlight it. Go to icons and select format. Let's give it a name. Alrighty. We'll call it Workbench. Appropriate for what we're installing. I'm a slow typist, so bear with me. Put trash can. No, we don't need international mode. Okay. Now, if you format this the regular way, there's no turbo mode on the format speed, like there is on the floppy speed. So it's going to take probably about 10 minutes to format this drive. Maybe less, but usually it takes a little bit longer. The Amiga wasn't too fast in formatting back in its day. Okay, so we'll just quick format. That's all we need to do, really. So we'll select Quick Format. All data will be lost. 1019 megabytes capacity. Yes. Format. Do you really wish to format? See, the Amiga had warnings. Yes, we really want to format. It says initializing disk. You notice the icon disappeared. Now it's back. Workbench. Double click it to open it. And you'll see 1019 megabytes free and only 259K in use. See? I mean, you got a gig and only 259 megabytes and 256K in use. I mean, you can pack a lot of files from the Amiga on here. Okay, now once it's formatted and it's named, we can start installing Workbench 3.1. Alright, double click the install disk. Double click the install again. Alright, choose what language you want. You know, wherever you're residing at. I'm living in the United States, so I'll choose English. Double click it. Alright, this program lets you install Release 3.1 in Amiga operating system on your hard drive. Proceed. says select install 3.1 to do a complete installation. Okay, we'll install it. Let's go to intermediate instead of novice users and select proceed with install. Install for real and log all actions as none. Alright, the reason why I had you go with intermediate is because we want to make sure it's going to install to the right drive. Do you want release 3.1 installed in the workbench drive partition? Alright, yes. Alright, select your language. We're not going to install no printers unless you have any of those. Then install them. Alright, my key maps, I want the American installed. Proceed. Now it's asking for the Amiga Workbench disk, version 3.1. So press F12. Go to your floppies. Alright, I'm going to put the Workbench disk in drive floppy 1. So go to the 3 dots and go down to your Workbench 3.1. Click OK. Alright, now it's asking for the locale disk. So we press F12 again. Go to your folder, look for locale. There it is, locale 3.1, right there. Click OK again. Now it's asking for the extras disk. 3.1. Go to your folders, look for your extras. 3.1 there. And select OK. Alright, now it's looking for the fonts disk. Alrighty. You could run this emulation on a Pentium 3 probably, if it was 32-bit. It doesn't take a very fast computer to run this emulation, to emulate the Amiga. I mean, I'm using a Core i7 second generation processor. You know, that's how old this laptop is. And, you know, they're up to 11th generation now. So, I mean, you don't need that fast of a processor to emulate this Amiga emulator. Alright, it says the installation of release 3.1 is now complete. Okay, it says remove all the disk. Okay, press F12. Select eject. Eject. Let's save that. Okay, select OK. Alright, now it says we'll click proceed. Woo! Boy, if only hard drives work that fast. I mean, boot it up and there it is. Alright, double click the workbench icon, workbench, and we see that the workbench is installed. Alright, let's go to prefs, go to screen mode. You notice that it has PAL listed here. or NTSC if you decide to run with that. But PAL's fine. Let's move this color slider up to 256. Doesn't do anything to the screen because it's in 3 colors: blue, black, gray, and white. 4 colors, excuse me. So select save. All right, you'll notice that there's other things here you can do. Play around with them if you want. Okay. We're all done with that. That clicking noise you hear, the Amiga was an intelligent machine back in its day. It constantly checked the whole system for something to work on. And that clicking noise is the floppy drive. It's every 2 or 3 seconds it checks the floppy drive. Is there a disk installed? Is there a disk installed? Is there a disk installed? And if there was, it was ready to work. As soon as you installed the disk, you didn't have to go to, like on the PC and double click A, to open it. But the Amiga automatically opened it for you. Told you what disk it was and everything. It was pretty cool back in this day. But it was way ahead of its time. Way ahead of Windows 3.1, 3.11 or whatever. It wasn't until Windows 95 to the PC started looking better than the Amiga. But the Amiga still had it still gave it a run for its money. It was a great operating system back then. It wasn't the first Windows operating system, but it was probably the best operating system of its time. Okay, we want to install some programs. So press F12. Okay, where you made up a folder for your hard drives, this right here, this programs folder, I put mine on the D drive. Wherever you put this programs folder at, okay, go to it and move programs to it. As you can see, I've already got programs on there. Now you can find these programs on AmiNet or just Google them. And AmiNet has a big archive of Amiga software that you can use, utilities and all kinds of stuff. And they don't have games, but they have other things. But at any rate, it's a good place to go. If you can't find it there, Google it. You'll be able to find it. Okay. Let's see something here. See if I got it downloaded. No, I don't. No, I don't. All right. Well, let's see something else here. Did I save it to my D drive? D, utilities. No. But I'm going to. Here's one thing you can do. The Amiga out of the box did not have JPEG capability, in order to show pictures and stuff like that. So we're going to go to Google and we're going to type in JPEG -DT .LHA. On amynet.net utility has that file. So we'll go to it and we'll download it. Right there it is. Download. Alrighty. So we'll click on that to download it. And there we got it. JPEG.DT. That will install JPEG capability for the Amiga. Alright. Now we want to download a picture. Let's see. Let's go with the Amiga moniker, their thing, the Boing Ball. Boingbog.jpg. Look at some nice Boing Bog images. Go to view all, choose which one you want. Okay. Oh, there's a good one. Now that's a GIF. Well, is it? Yeah, that's a GIF. We don't want GIFs. Let's see if we got one at 800 by 600. That's 1200 by 675. That's too big. See this one. 900 by 563. Yeah, that looks okay. All right, save image as, and we'll name it Boing Ball. Boing Ball. And it's going to save as a JPEG image, so we'll do that. Okay, close out. Well, continue downloading. Well, keep anyways. All right, close out. All right, let's go back to our downloads folder. And there they are. Boing Ball and the JPEG. Let's highlight those. Press your Control key on your keyboard. Select both files and select copy. Select D. Go to Program Files and select paste. And there they are. Okay. Like I said, you can find all these files on the internet. No problems. You can also find other things too, like Magic Workbench, Directory Opus, which is a great program for reading directories on Amiga hard drives and stuff. But Cygnus Ed, programs like that, it's just all kinds of stuff. All right, close that out. Okay. Let's make sure our floppies are empty. All right, go to configuration, save again. It don't hurt to save them. Save your configuration. And then load it again. It did that because the emulation was up and running. Okay. Click Start. Like I said, if hard drives were that fast, if Windows booted up that fast, I would be happy. Okay. We want to double click our programs folder. You notice that it doesn't show anything. That's because the operating system is looking for icons. It's not looking for files. So we'll just expand this window a little bit. All right, go up to the top and go to Window and go to Show All Files. Let go of the right mouse button, and there they are. Let's clean this up a bit. So go to Window again, right click and hold your right mouse button down. And then go to Clean Up and let go of the right mouse button. Yeah, looks a lot better. Okay, now these are the programs we want to install. All right. First off, we want to install LHA.run. Like I said, if you want to write these down on a piece of paper, these are the programs I'm using. All right, Class Act 2 demo.lha, installer 4-43_3.lha, JPEG.-DT.lha, new icons 46.lha, and so on and so on. MUI 38 user and Magic Menu and Picasso. All right, but the first program we want to run in all this, and before we can run anything else, is the LHA program. All right, so double click it, and you'll come up with this enter command arguments. And you notice it's automatically says LHA.run. All right, it's an executable file, so we'll you press space, RAM, : Now make sure you put that colon in there, otherwise it'll ask you for the volume, which you don't have. All right. Now what this will do, the program will run and extract its contents to the RAM disk. Okay. So let's click OK. And it says extracting. Extracted all these files. And it says operation was successful. Okay. Now, double click the RAM disk. It doesn't show anything, so we got to go back up here to Windows and show all files. Let's expand this one out a little bit. And then go back up here at the top and go to Window again and do cleanup. All right. The only files you got to worry about here is these three right here. Okay. Now what this means is that LHA is think of it like 7-zip or WinZip, to unarchive archives, to unarchive zip files. Okay. So if you have a 500, an A500 machine with a 68,000 or 68010 processor, then you want to install this file. If you have the 68040 to 68060, then this file. And of course, we're running the 68020, but this is also for the 68030. We need this file. So double click that. All right. We can't run this at its own. This is not executable. So click on the beginning of the file, beginning of the line, and type copy. Oops. My finger gets shaky. Copy. Press space. That means copy this file. Go to the end of the file. And then press space. C:LHA. All right. That means it's going to copy this file to the LHA directory or make a folder. So we click OK. And it worked. Now we got reboot. So press Control Windows, right Control for me, or Windows for you. Or if you have a real Amiga doing this, then Amiga. All right, either one. Okay. It rebooted that fast. Ready? We double click programs again. We have to tell it to do show all files again. And then we have to tell it to clean up again. Okay. The first thing we want to extract and install is the installer -43_3.lha. So double click it. Go to the beginning of the line and type LHAX. We're already in programs, so we should be able to extract it to programs. We have to tell it to go to programs. And always put the colon, since programs is a drive. Alright. Select OK. And extract. Operation was successful. Close that out. Now you notice it's not showing up. Okay. The Amiga doesn't update like Windows does. Alright. So what we have to do is go up here to Window and select Update. And then Clean Up. And there it is. Installer 43_3. That's the LHA file we extracted from. It created a folder called installer 43_3. So double click it. Select show all files again. And there we got the installer. That's what we was looking for. Okay. Don't worry about any of this stuff unless you want to read it. Unless you want to read it. Double click installer. Go to the end of the line. And go to the beginning of the line. Excuse me. Type copy. Space. Installer. C:. Alright. And click OK. If the screen flashes out, that means you've done pretty good. Alright. If it comes up with any error messages, you did something wrong. You didn't put a colon in, you put a semicolon in. Whatever. So, but if the screen just blanks out on its own, then you did okay. So click out of that. Alright. Let's see what else we want to install. Let's see. We can't install some of these till we get Winuaue in there. Okay. Let's see. Should we install Winuaue now? Or Picasso? Nah, we have to install Class Act 2 demo first. Okay, double click Class Act 2 demo. At the beginning of the line, type LHA X space, we're already in programs, space programs. And always put the colon. Click OK. It's extracting Class Act 2 now. As you can see, it's a pretty good size file. Alright. Exit out of that. Go to Update. Class Act. It just made a folder called Class Act. Double click it and install classes. Double click it. Go to Intermediate. Proceed with install. Install for real, none. Leave this the same. Don't change it. It's going to install to the system classes. Do you want to use OS 3.1020 optimized version of Class Act? Yes. Class Act has several user configurable aspects that affect the look of Class Act interfaces. Settings when using the Class Act preface tool that will be installed in your preface tool. Okay, sounds good. Installation of Class Act has been complete. Okay. Close that out. Let's reboot. Control, Windows, right control for me. Okay. You notice that it will show folders because they have INFO file along with it. So anything that's got INFO file will be shown here. Alright, go to show all files again. And go to cleanup so we know what we've done. Okay, we've already installed Class Act. And we already installed the installer. So these are all done. That just so happens that's how it came up. Except for that, of course. Oh, I caught a Boeing ball. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. All right. Let's install Picasso. All right. Go to the beginning of the line. LHAX space. Go to the end of the line, space, programs. Put in the colon. Click OK. It's a big file too. Well, not as big as Class Act. Okay. Click Update. Picasso 96 install. So double click it. And go to the setup. Double click it. Thank you very much for choosing Picasso 96 as your graphics system. Click Proceed. Yes, this is the first time we're installing it. Click Proceed. Yes, intermediate user. Now, I want you to go through this slowly because there's a part in it that we have to chainsaw. So, proceed with install. Install for real and none. Okay. Proceed. Proceed again. Okay. No, we do not want to read the manual now. Alright, in this page here, none of this should be checked. But make sure this is checked. UAE graphics. Make sure it has a check mark. Proceed. Okay. Yes, we want to use the sys libraries. Sysdevs monitors. Syspress. Sysdevs Picasso 96 settings. Aha. Work Picasso 96. It says where you want the support files installed. We don't have a work. We have a workbench. So select another location for this. Show select workbench DH0 and proceed. Yes. Yeah, why not? Yes. Proceed. Creating chores for chips. Okay. Proceed with copy. Yes. Proceed with copy. RTG system. Yes. Install fast layers library. Yes. Installing cross-platform emulation library. Yes. Installing the new picture.database data type. Yes. Installing board driver for UAE graphics. Yes. Install monitor driver for UAE graphics. Yes. Adjusting tool types. Yes. Installing Picasso 96 mode. Yes. Proceed. 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 And proceed. And the installation is now finished. One more time. That took a while. Now press Control Windows right control for me, or Control right window, just reboot to me. Okay. Go to Workbench, Prefs, do Cleanup, select Contents, Snapshot All. You can either snapshot the window or snapshot everything in it. So I select Snapshot All because Class Act was out of order. Alright, now go to Screen Mode. Double click it. Ah, look at that. You have a lot more settings. You could go way up on your resolution now. Of course, the higher the resolution, the harder it is to see on this Workbench screen. But it'll go as high as what your monitor says. For this project, though, I'm going to keep it at 640 by 480, but I want 32-bit BGRA. It's at 256 colors. No, that's not good enough. We want the full 16.7 million colors. Alright, click Save. Nah, I don't like that. That's right, I was at 800 by 600, wasn't it? 800 by 600? Yes. Save. Well, not that much different, but whatever. Okay. Picasso 96 settings. You notice it's all garbled here. It's one thing about the Amiga operating system, Windows system. It doesn't place them all neat looking, arrangements. So you have to go to Window and clean up. But anyways, you can do things there if you want to do things there. Prefs, it kept it there. Class Act. You can do group labels, miscellaneous, all kinds of things. Border Gadget 3D. Normal. We'll just keep it all just like that. Alright. You can do whatever you want to there. Okay, we still got some more programs to install. So go to Programs. You notice now we got 3 folders since we unpacked it. So let's expand this window out a little bit. Go to Window and Show All Files again. And of course it's in a messy looking display. So we'll go to Cleanup. Okay. Now we'll want to install Winuaue. Okay. So go double click on MUI 38 user.lha. Go to the beginning of the line and type LHAX space LHA space X space space at the end of the line PROGRAMS colon. Make sure you put the colon in. I always tell you that. Pretty soon you'll be an old hat at this. You'll be able to do this without even thinking. You'll be saying, "Oh, what was so hard about this to begin with?" Yeah. All right, it's extracting MUI. Operation completed successfully. Alrighty. Since it's not showing up, we have to go to update, and there it is, MUI. Double click MUI and install MUI. It's in intermediate mode already. Proceed with install. Install for real, proceed. Yeah. Magic user interface. Sounds cool, doesn't it? Proceed. Leave it at workbench. Yes, all those are selected. Yes, we're English. Or if you want to be German or French, select that. Nah, we don't need these examples. MUI was successfully installed. Okay. Now, we have to reboot the Amiga again, so reboot it. Alright. Go to workbench. Slide the thing over. There's MUI in your workbench directory. Alright, double click it. Double click the MUI icon. Alright, while this window's open, it's highlighted. You see it's blue? That's how you know what window is active. Go up to the top of the screen and select Open. It's Project. You select Project and Open. Alright, go with Stuntzy, select Stuntzy Stop Prefs. And select OK. And then select Save. Okay. Now we have a couple more things to install. We got new icons, magic menu, and JPEG. So we'll go up here to Window, show all files once more. I wish we could just save this setting. And clean it. Okay, we installed that. That's the JPEG. We done that. There's the JPEG installer. We'll do that last. Magic menu. We install MUI. There's that. We installed that. Yeah. Okay. Let's install new icons. Alright. New icons 46. Go to beginning of the line, type in LHA space X space. Go to the end of the line, space. Programs, colon. Now, isn't this a lot faster than clicking on Workbench, going to System, then double clicking on Shell to open the shell to type in all this yourself, when you can just do this in one screen. Click OK. Whew, boy, that was a big file. 437. Okay, like always, it didn't show the folder, so there it is. Well, let's find it here. New icons, version 4. Alright, double click it. You see where it says install. So double click it. Install new icons. Double click it. Thank you for trying new icons 4.6. Alright, click proceed. It's in intermediate mode. Proceed. Install for real, none. Proceed. Just leave everything like it is. New icons, define icons, and 32 color icon set. Proceed. High-end library. Proceed. Yes, copy it to the sys utilities, whatever you want. The update drawers utility allows you to select and install. Yes. Alright, select a drawer or partition. The default drawer image icon will be installed to the subdirectories of your drawer. Okay, first off, click on Workbench. Proceed. Alright, now it gives you an option here to select icons. I like the dark grid. Would you like to install more drawer images? Select yes. Yeah, we have programs. Proceed. And like I said, I like it. Alright. Close out of that. Close out of that. Would you like to install more drawer images? No. This part just lets you customize the disk images that appear on the workbench. Okay. DH0. Proceed. Okay. You can select looking like an actual disk, hard drive, or like that, or like this, or like these, or like that, or like that, your tower. Let's, hey. Let's select that. Would you like to install more images? Yes. DH1. Proceed. Yeah, let's make it the same. No. We don't have any more drives, so we're going to click no. Install a new icon images to your sys partition. Proceed. Working on installation. Sys storage. Proceed. Help. Proceed. 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 Okay, it tells us to totally reboot our system, so let's reboot. So I'm rebooting now. And there's something hanging up the system. So let's press F12. Don't worry about it. Don't get upset. Press F12 and click on the bottom left where it says reset. There we are. There's our icon. It didn't place the icon the way I wanted it, but that's okay. A disk icon looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. RAM disk, pretty cool. Looks actually like a chip. Alrighty, so we got new icons installed. Alrighty, once again, we go to install another program. We're getting close to the end, so don't get upset. We're getting close to the end here. Clean up. Ooh, cool looking icons. Alrighty. Now, let's see. We installed that Class Act. We installed MUI rather. And we got those. We don't have that yet. We got that. We got this. We installed new icons. MUI. Installer. Magic menu. let's install Magic Menu. We got that and the JPEG installed. So double click that. Click on the M and backspace. All right. Then type in LHA space X space and go to the end. Space programs. Colon. Select OK. That wasn't too bad of an extraction. OK. Update. And clean up. Magic Menu right there at the top. Let's close. Let's make this window a little bit smaller. And bring it down to here. Okay, you'll see why in a second. Okay, Magic Menu. Okay. Now, if we're running a 68,000 processor, we'll have to install these files. But we're running an 020 processor, so we're going to install these files. You can read these if you want, or the catalog. And we'll have to install the library. Okay, first off, we're going to do the 020. Okay. We're going to do clean up. And it's already showing all files. Okay. Magic Menu and Magic Menu Prefs. Okay. Now, these we're going to install manually. So, double click that. Clean up. Select contents. Snapshot all. Okay. Now, the Magic Menu has to go into the Workbench Startup folder. So we'll click on it and drag it to the Startup folder. Okay. Now, let's see here. Show all files. Now, well, we're not there yet. Now, the Magic Menu Prefs has got to go into the Press folder. So we click on that and drag it to the Press folder. Disappears. Okay. Close out this window. Now, go to the libs. The GT layout.library's got to go into the library folder, or to the libs folder, right here, since it's libs. See that, libs? Okay, so drag it and drop it there. Okay, you're done with that. Now, keep our fingers crossed that this will work. Okay, reboot your Amiga again. Yeah, it worked. That's the Magic Prefs control. You can call this up anytime with Control-Alt-Space. Let's see if it worked. Yay! We don't have to go up here. You notice it changed all this up here looking. We don't have to go up here no more. We can do it like our Windows operating system. Click anywhere on here. Don't matter. We can even open up Windows and click on here and go to Window and select all files and so on and so forth. Yay, we don't have to do that no more. It worked. Alrighty. Pretty cool, huh? But, alright. So let's expand this out a little bit more. Oh, I keep wanting to go through out of habit. Alright. Go to Windows. Show all files. And of course, Window Cleanup. Alright. So we installed everything so far. We installed everything but the JPEG. Everything else we've installed. Okay, so double click the JPEG. I don't know why it's come up with this, but we don't want that. So highlight the J and backspace out of that. Type in LHA as usual, space, X, space, space. Go to the end of the file, space, programs. Colon. Click OK. Extracting 32 files. OK. Click on Update. JPEG.-DT, right? Install. Yes, we want to install. Click on Intermediate User. Always good to do that so you know what it's doing. Install for real. Proceed. Yes. Do what it's going to say. Don't change any of these. Leave it like it is. Installation complete. Didn't take long. Okay, don't fret. Your machine froze up. So press F12 and click Reset. Okay, that didn't work. Do Control F11 to totally close out the emulation. That's like turn off the Amiga. Okay, so we're going to restart the Amiga by opening up Winuae again. Okay, make sure that's highlighted, A1200 Warpace 3.1, and select Load, and select Start. Okay. Alright, we're back up. No big deal. Okay, go to Workbench, go to Prefs, right-click Cleanup, right-click Windows, select Contents, right-click Snapshot All. Okay. Now, let's see here. Let's see if we can install it. Font, Control, look out, printer. No. Okay. JPEG Prefs. Let's see what that says. Alright. Alright. Graphics mode V43 CGX mode. No dithering. Dither mode. Let's go with Floyd Steinberg. No Diddley. Floyd Steinberg. Okay, sounds good to me. Save. Okay. Right click in here and select New Drawer. Select Window, New Drawer. And make it Pictures. Or whatever. This is where we're going to save the boy involved. Pictures. Okay. Got to update. Okay. And there it is. Pictures. Okay. Bring that down a little bit so we can see. Bring this over. Go to Programs. Boingbog.jpg. Alright, drag it to the Pictures folder. Now it's in the Pictures folder. Alright, now go to Prefs. Sorry, I clicked out all that. Go back to Prefs. Alright. Go to Workbench Prefs. Let me find it here. Workbench Pattern, rather. Right here, Workbench Pattern. Okay. Now here you can change patterns on your workbench. You can make them into this. Ugly looking shit. Oh, excuse my language. I didn't mean to say that. All right, you can put them on your workbench, placement on the workbench, or on Windows, or on screen. I'm going to place it on workbench. All right, select pattern or picture. So if you have pictures in there, you can select it. So select a picture. All right, let's find our pictures drawer in the Prefs directory. Well, volumes, workbench. Should be in there. I put it in the Prefs drawer. Presets? No. Oh, there it is. I was blind. It's there all along. Pictures. I knew I made a pictures drawer in the Prefs drawer. All right, there's our boingball.jpg. Select it and select OK and save. Wow. Now we have a nice looking screen. Thanks to that JPEG-DT install. Yeah. So there you have it. You have the Amiga set up. You can install more programs. Like I said, you can Google programs for the Amiga, utilities, and stuff. Like I said, Directory Opus is a good one. Cygnus Ed, Desktop Paint. There's all kinds of utilities. And but anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Um, I hope it was informative. I hope I didn't bore you. And like I said, if I made any mistakes, just laugh at me, say I'm crazy or whatever. I'm full of it. It don't matter to me. I've been called everything. All right. If you want to get rid of all those programs that you installed, double click it, select contents, and then delete icons. Delete. You'll say delete 9 files and 7 drawers. Okay. It'll take it a few minutes, a few seconds. As you can see, it's working there. You see the little clock. Because some of them had one drawer had 437 files, But it will take it a few seconds. And it's done. You got a nice clean programs folder to put other things in. My next video I plan on doing will be on WHD load games. How to install WHD load on the Winuae with the 81200. And, how to walk through it, and stuff. And, but anyways, that'll be my next video, maybe, if I have time doing it. But, at first, WHD load was kind of complicated to me, but then I installed it and figured out basically how to work it. It's not that bad. But anyways, and I'll show you a front end called iGame, which you can use that will scan your whole library of games. That's if you have 20 or more games. Like me, I have 2,900, over 2,900 games. That's a good program to go ahead and use to scan all those games, and you can look for them all in one section. You don't have to go to the folder where all the games are listed and scroll through them all, to find what game you want to play. iGame is very good. It's a good front end. So, but anyways, I'll show you how to set that up with WHD. Okay. Well, anyways, I hope you have a great day. My name is Dingham, and I hope this was informative. Okay. Let's get out of this. And quit. Alrighty. Well, you have a great day. Bye.